I'm trying to get Saudi Arabia back on the right track.
Hi guys, welcome once again to Think Tank TV. Now, I've got a very interesting interview for you. An interview with one of the richest princes in the whole world, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Now, did you know that Saudi Arabia was one of the poorest nations in the world, with their source of revenue being pilgrimage and agriculture? Now, interestingly, their story actually changed when oil reserves were discovered in 1938. 3 years later, Saudi Arabia began a very friendly relationship with United States of America, which led to the journey of their prosperity. Now, in this video, you're going to be watching a very insightful and educative interview with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, where he has gone ahead to share his policies, his perspective of reasoning. He went ahead to also talk about his leisure and what actually is the secret behind Saudi Arabia's prosperity. Please do well to listen to this insightful and educative video, as I'll be right back to give you more insight about Saudi Arabia. Do well to hit the comment section and let's get to know what your thinking is, as I'll be continually here to serve you. My name is Moses and this is Think Tank TV.
What do you see 10, 20, 30 years for Saudi Arabia?
I will give you an example. If you look to late 70s, Saudi Arabia GDP is bigger than South Korea. And now South Korea, I think it's the 10th or 11th largest GDP in the world in 2016. And in 2016 we are number 20. So that's a shame. In 1980, we was GDP number, I think, 12 globally. And then 2016 we are number 20. So we believe if Saudi Arabia and really the perfect track, since that time we will be among the top 7 GDP globally. I'm trying to get Saudi Arabia back on the right track.
You're a data guy.
We can see today we are the largest, number 17 ranked as the largest GDP in the world, but in G20 we are almost ranked number 15 from 20 in just few years.
The G20, you just mentioned it. You really have become a big player on the world stage, and that G20 rail and ports deal connecting Europe, the Gulf nations, and India, why is that such a big deal?
Logistics is important. If you want to manufacture in your country, if you want to move goods, it's important to have a good logistic plan. You work it with many countries, many regions, to be sure that goods pass in the right time. For example, that project will cut the time of goods from India to Europe by 3 to 6 days. Cut time, save money, and it's more safer, more efficient. So why not? And it's not about only moving goods and railways and ports. It's also about making grids, energy grids, data, cables, and other stuff will benefit Europe, the Middle East, and also India. And most of these energy, all of these energy going to be a green energy that's going to be produced in the Middle East and being exported to Europe and India. So it's a big deal for us and for Europe and for India.
Also mentioned in this deal is Israel. What would it take for you to agree to normalize relations with Israel?
Well, there is approach from President Biden administration to get to that point. For us, the Palestinian issue is very important. We need to solve that part, and we have a good negotiations continue till now. We gotta see where it will go. We hope that it will reach a place that it will ease the life of the Palestinians and get Israel back as a player in the Middle East.
There were reports that you had suspended talks.
No, that's not true.
Not true. So you think, if you were to characterize it, are you close?
Every day we get closer. It seems it's for the first time a real one, serious. We gotta see how it goes.
Can you make a deal with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? Is that somebody you can deal with?
Well, in Saudi Arabia policy, we don't interfere of who's running each country, who's there. We work with him. Now we don't have a relation with Israel, but if Biden administration succeeded to make, I believe, the biggest historical deal since the end of the Cold War, then we gotta start a relationship, and that relationship gotta be continuous regardless of who's running Israel. So,
I mean, he's 73, you're 38, but you think maybe there's a chance that you could deal with him?
if we have a breakthrough of reaching a deal that give the Palestinians their needs and make the region calm, we're going to work with whoever's there.
Not to go too far, but the concessions Israel would have to give the Palestinians, what would that look like?
That's part of the negotiation.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to describe things because I want to see really a good life for the Palestinians. So I want just to continue the negotiation with the Biden administration to be sure.
Well, on the U.S. side, would there be a defense pact maybe between Saudi Arabia and the United States? And what would it look like Article 5 in NATO?
Yeah, well, first of all, we have some sort of that in the past 80 years. We are the biggest buyer from American armament manufacturing. I believe Saudi Arabia alone is bigger than the next 5 buyers from America. So Saudi Arabia is critical in your armament import economically. And we have a lot of security military ties that really strengthen the position of Saudi Arabia in Middle East and strengthen the position of America globally, especially in Middle East. You don't want that to be shifted. You don't want to see Saudi Arabia shifting their armament from America to other place. So that document, it will strengthen that. It will strengthen the interest of America, security interest, military interest, and also economical interest. And also it will save effort and headache from the Saudi side of not switching to other places.
You know, there are many people who wonder why you first normalized relations with Iran, a longtime enemy who back in 2017 attacked your oil facilities, but yet, not yet, Israel. Can you explain that?
Based on situation and politics. So we have a long fight with Iran since '79. We don't want to be that the norm in the Middle East. If there is opportunity to shift that and to go to prosperity and interest and working with Iran and working with other Middle Eastern, bringing Iran to work with the Arab world, with the Middle East, why not? So the Iranian reached to the Iraqis in 2020. The Iraqis talked to us. They start to do that kind of negotiation. Then we have a good start. We hope that continues. We're trying our best. And also what we see from the Iranians, that they're taking this very seriously and they are doing their best. So we are investing in that.
That's a big change, and clearly you can see outside the box on these deals. You know, you can look to that. Are you concerned, though, Iran gets a nuclear weapon, about them getting a nuclear weapon?
Well, we are concerned with any country getting a nuclear weapon. That's a bad move. You don't need to get a nuclear weapon because you cannot use it. Even if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, any country use a nuclear weapon, that means they are having a war with the rest of the world. The world cannot see another Hiroshima. If the world see 100,000 people dead, that means you are in a war with the rest of the world. So to use this effort to reach a nuclear weapon, because you cannot use it. If you use it, you gotta have a big fight with the rest of the world.
If they get one, will you?
If they get one, we have to get one for security reasons, for balancing power in the Middle East, but we don't want to see that.
Yeah. It's just a big change. You know, a lot of the world experts are saying how you can isolate Iran and try to prevent them from doing what they have been doing. And then just the image of your Saudi football team, going to Tehran to play is just striking, right?
Well, that's good. That's part of the movement, and we see very warm welcome from the Iranian side to the Saudi team. I believe Saudis take that very positively.
Iran has been fighting this proxy war in Yemen against you. Just today, there were these high-level talks over the past 5 days with the Houthi rebels inside the kingdom. And the quote from your people is that it was positive. Secretary of State Blinken said that this is a time of opportunity. Do you think it is?
Yeah, definitely. Our aim from day one is to have good life for the Yemenis, good life for all countries in the region. For us in Saudi Arabia to progress, to do really great progress and great growth and creating amazing economy in Saudi Arabia and have close to 100% of succeeding of what we're trying to get, that means we need a stable region. To have a stable region, you need economical development in the whole region. You don't need to see problems in Yemen. You need to see Iraq going really forward. You need to see Iran going really forward. You need to see Lebanon going forward. You need to see the rest of the region going forward. And we are working with GCC, with Egypt, with other players in the region, and also with the global players, with our allies in America, to make that happen. That's good for the rest of the world, because you see, when the region is disturbed, ISIS come out, Al-Qaeda come out, terrorist attack come out, piracy come out. So you don't want to see these events. You want to see opportunities for American companies, for European companies, for the rest of the world, and for more growth in a place that create problems in the past few decades.
I mean, obviously, more than 150,000 people died in Yemen. It's been a big humanitarian crisis, but you all put in billions of dollars to help in that, and it doesn't get covered a lot. Do you think it's close to kind of wrapping up?
Well, we are the biggest country in the world who give aid to Yemen in the past, and today, and tomorrow. And we want to increase that, and also we want to start to invest in Yemen in the economical part in all sides of Yemen, and we are in the process of doing that, even if there is a ceasefire and there is no political agreement yet. But we are trying to push all the areas forward day by day.
Just a couple more things on Iran. Do you think it was a good idea for the U.S. to allow Iran to access that $6 billion in exchange for the 5 American hostages?
You know, you cannot say it's a bad or good policy, but what I would say that it's a step. I hope that the Iranians show that getting that $6 billion, getting those American backs, it's worth the effort, because that will encourage the world to do more.
You mentioned China brokering that normalization with Iran. That surprised some folks. Why choose China in that role?
We didn't choose China. China
chose you.
China chose to be a broker to make that happen.
There are signs of change. Obviously, the renewal of relations with Iran, brokered by China, possibly joining BRIC. China's a big component of that. Is the kingdom reevaluating its security partnerships, kind of trying to think of different ways to do it?
No, BRICS is not about political alignments. So if you look at the G20, you have like 2 groups inside the G20. You have the G7 and you have BRICS inside G20. We tried to join the G7 at President Trump time, but some of the countries in G7 have like requirement to be part of that. And we are seeing that if we continue for 1 decade without being part of group inside the G20, that could really create obstacles for us economically. So BRICS is an option. They invite us, and we welcome that. And BRICS is not a group against America or the West. You have a lot of allies in BRICS. You have India, you have Brazil, and you have South Africa. Those are also as your allies.
You talk to all these world leaders. I mean, you talk to all of them. And when was the last time you talked to President Xi?
Something around, I'm not sure.
You talk to
4 months. Yeah, we talk a lot.
So what do you do to blow off steam? When you want to relax, like what do you have fun doing?
Video games.
Oh, what's that? Video games. You're a big gamer.
Since I'm a kid, I love it.
Really?
Yeah, it disconnects me from reality.
So, and there's a big video game part of your ministry, right? There's out of sports?
Esports is one of the most important things happening globally. It's the most one of the most growing industry in the planet. It grows by 30% every year. So the return on PIF investment, every year we have 15 to 25% of profit. So it's really amazing, and we don't want to miss that.
Yeah. When you see,
it's like beating Hollywood today. So one of the streamers on the esport, he have more than 2 billion views, more than the biggest Hollywood movie.
It's amazing.
So it's serious.
Wow, remarkable indeed. Now, when I see leaders who actually have a burning desire for the advancement of their people, I weep for Africa. You can see from the interview that Saudi Arabia also discovered the natural resources called crude oil, just like most of these African nations. And you can see how prosperous that nation has become in a very short while. Please do well to go to the comment section and let's get to know what your thinking is, as we hope that one day freedom and prosperity will come to Africa. My name is Moses and this is Think Tank TV. Thank you so much to all our viewers and returning subscribers. We do not take it lightly. See you on our next video. Bye for now.